the show in Liverpool. We're now up to almost 50% of the tickets being gone in the first 10 days to 2 weeks. If you want to come along and see us, you can get your tickets with the link pinned to the top of the chat or in the description of the stream. When these sell out, if indeed they do, we're not moving it to the bigger theatre. We want this one. This is the one we've wanted to do all along. It's an all ages event, and we're going to have a musical act, a comedian, and then us on for the night. We're going to make sure we put on a bigger, better, noisier show than the last time, and we really appreciate those who've already got their tickets and look forward to coming over to Liverpool November 15th. Hi Craig, what are your thoughts on Anthony Taylor as the match official for Sunday? Huge game for us and Arna from Cliff in Mayo. I think it is, again, angering. Really, really angering, Cliff. Look, I'm sure Anthony Taylor's a stand-up guy. I'm sure Anthony Taylor has absolutely no want or desire to sway in either way. But I still think putting a Greater Manchester referee in charge of a game between a team from Manchester and Liverpool is not a good look. So from everything else, just the perspective of it from the outside, it invites people to start questioning the loyalties here. So I just think it's an avoidable mistake, and I just hope that we don't have any big incidents that we have to look to Anthony Taylor to question. New to your channel, loving the clarity and no BS attitude. Taylor referees the game fair Sunday, and him being on his home turf. Look, I don't know Anthony Taylor, and I'm not going to try and question the man's character. All I'll say is, I don't think it's a great look for the PGMOL having an Altrincham fan from that neck of the woods refereeing a game in Old Trafford with us, and I just don't think it's a good look. But I have a lot of respect for Anthony Taylor, particularly with how he refereed and dealt with the Christian Eriksen situation, which, you're all well aware was a very difficult situation during the Euros, and I thought he handled it impeccably. But he's also been chased in stadiums by the likes of Mourinho, so clearly some issues are there around Anthony Taylor's performances. But I just hope we're talking about the game from the perspective of we won or we lost it, and nothing to do with the referee. If we lose to United, then we take it on the chin. But I just don't want another massive game being spoken about like the Spurs game where we had 2 reds, again, these weren't Taylor, like the lack of a penalty for the Doku kick on McAllister or the handball from Odegaard. These are all things I don't want to see again this season, because they were absolutely ridiculous and very clearly incorrect, every single one of them. Why don't the PGMOL want to avoid these sticky situations? What was the other case where it was said Luton said their worries about the ref, and that ended by the ref making a mess during the game? There have been so many occasions where I think the PGMOL have missed a trick. Already this season, we've seen them not follow their own rules. In a couple of games I've watched, we've seen a rule where the ball boys are supposed to not be able to give the balls to players. They're supposed to leave them on the little cones that are left around the pitch. In one game, I'd seen Harry Maguire intentionally throw the ball off the cone to slow down a counter-attack and not get booked. And I'd seen a ball boy, when it was still 0-0 at Old Trafford, rolling the ball to the goalkeeper to make him take the goal kick quicker. They're not even enforcing their own rules, the PGMOL. The handball last week that wasn't given for against Newcastle, the goal that was ruled out for Bournemouth, was a disgrace. Absolute disgrace. The fact the referee wasn't asked to go and look at it and judge himself, the fact that they thought that was so clear that they didn't even need to ask the referee to go into the monitor, is a disgrace. And they know it. The Joelinton clothesline was a disgrace. All of these things the PGMOL know are wrong, and the pundits know are wrong. But yet we still have to listen to Dermot Gallagher tying himself up into knots trying to justify these. Or I have to listen to that gobshite that already admitted that he didn't do his job. Mike Dean did not send Anthony Taylor to the monitor because he didn't want to get his mate in trouble. And I'm supposed to take advice and believe the word of these guys. Dermot Gallagher, no issues with regards to not doing his job in the past. Mike Dean admitted, I did not do my job. I did not send the referee to the monitor when there was a clear hair pull because I didn't want my mate to get grief. That impacted the game. It impacted the authenticity and the... what's the word I'm looking for? Credibility of the game. And what do they do at Sky? They reward him by giving him a job on the panel talking about refereeing decisions. What message does that send to anybody else? What message does that put out into the world? Go there, do a shit job, admit you didn't do your job, and still get handed a cushy number. But I have to listen to the moral bullshit from Sky about removing hey, say it, see, and all this other crap that they don't practice what they preach. Baffles me. They're all great at telling us what to do and how we should live, but they don't follow it. They don't act on it themselves. So yeah, that's my take on the PGMOL. A bunch of spoofers and not fit for purpose. Sorry, that is something I will admit gets me on tilt and puts me on a rant. When we get talking about referees, yeah, that does push my buttons. It really does, because season after season, it's we're hearing about the improvements we're going to get, but we never see them, or they last a week and then they go back to the old ways. Funny, for me, the only mistake I can slide is Diaz goal not given. The rest of the mistakes cannot understand. So the Diaz goal not being given was a human error that I can well believe it was a miscommunication about what they were looking at. And okay, fair enough, that's a mistake. But I'll never understand how Martin Odegaard moving his arm towards the ball and gesturing his body around to block the ball to stop us scoring was not deemed an intentional handball, nor was it deemed even enough to send the ref to the monitor. How can you believe there's integrity when that... They even said he's moving away from the ball as he's moving his arm around the ball. It's just mental. Honestly, it's just... yeah, I hate the Premier League referees. Do you know who I don't mind, actually? Jared Gillett. I don't mind him. And I watched the programme the other day where they did that trial, you know, with the camera on his little ear monitor thing. And I actually think Jared Gillett came across very well. Seems like a really sincere referee. I think he's one of the better Premier League referees. I think he's the first referee outside of the UK to ever be given Premier League games. But yeah, him, I think he's quite decent. How Doku never got a red card or pen on Maka. And again, Jimmy, mate, I would ask how the ref wasn't asked to go have a look at it. That's the key part in those two decisions for me. And the reason I think is because they know if the ref's gone to that monitor, he's giving a penalty on both occasions. So the fact he wasn't sent to the monitor, it's just nonsense. And even the justification for the Doku kick, when you hear the VAR's language, it's just nonsense.